What's up, guys? Welcome to Rice and Beans. This is our live broadcast, and we tend to make new friends. We made another one. Say what's up to Retro. Big O's in the house.
Hey, Retro, how you doing, man?
Going in.
Why don't you tell us a little bit something about yourself? We know you're down in the Arizona area, just like I am, and we know you're in the podcast scene. Why don't you go ahead and give everybody a little taste of what you got?
Yes, sir. For the people in the valley that know, see me out and about. You've definitely seen Retro Revolt. See me out. You see me filming, drone, gig, got the stabilizer. Like, yeah, you know. So, Retro in the building. Episode 1 for your boy. Happy to be here and talk about some of these topics. Some of them are pressing, but I'm looking to get into it.
So yeah, you gave me a link to some of your stuff. I saw this video you did, guys in the hood on the roof, man, with look like you know what I'm talking about, the hover.
Yeah. I know exactly which video you're talking about. That was downtown Phoenix.
Yeah, that was dope, man. You flying in, flying out, getting that cut in, and the music was good too, man. I'm not even gonna lie, but yeah, it's got some good stuff going down on your level.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like to absolutely network, and one thing about me is I enjoy collaborating with all likes, whether that's producers, writers, artists, podcasts, doesn't matter, man. It's collaboration. We're all content producers, so we're just trying to put it out there. So
great, man. Hey, you're always welcome with us, and hopefully this will breed a future collaboration that go on a long way. But we're gonna have a lot of fun today, so
hell yeah, the collaborations are always fucking fun. It's like, it's good to see, like, because I mean, O and I talk all the time, so it's like we already know what Jester has to say about stuff, but it's fun to hear what other people have to say about it and get that group discussion going. Like, I always look forward to those.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, well, I always say, yeah, it's always good to have a nice circle, but it's always good to introduce people that think a little differently, and put it out there a little differently. Still likewise, but yeah, it's a different outtake, different outlook for sure.
Yeah, I like the cut of your jib. I like everything you're rolling with, and I see how you're going in different facets. And just our talk, having your rolling studio as you can go out and talk with people on the street. That's really interesting to us. We haven't delved in that yet, but hearing the output of what you can do and seeing the videos that you could produce is just wild. With all the technology we got.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And we're gonna tap in. Hey, we locked in now.
Damn straight. You know what? And that brings us to technology nowadays, right? Where we're going to talk about OnlyFans. How's that?
Hey.
Everybody's doing it.
Straight to it, huh?
Yeah, straight to it. We ain't going to sugarcoat this shit, because I was talking to you boys offline here, and our girl who says she's black but really isn't black, Miss Rachel Dozer. Yeah, she's got her OnlyFans going, and she's showing everything so she could pay the bills. So that's out there, creeping out there. I mean, what would you sell your soul for? I mean, would you do it for a Klondike bar? Would you do it for some money? Would you actually show your butthole? Shave everything down? I mean, what would you do?
I'm fat. I would feel total justification in charging by the pound.
How about you, Retro?
You got to pay more. Sorry, fellas. There's just more of me to see. It's like Bart Simpson when he was real fat in that one episode. It's all right, honey. There's just more of me to love.
Jeez, I don't know, man. I think we're at a crossroads where these types of activities are acceptable. It's not about a 9 to 5. It's all about you just getting money. It doesn't matter the way that you got your money. I liken it, I've posed the question, especially for the ones that do it and want men that will support it, so to speak. I always pose the question, if you're okay with, living that lifestyle, you want your man to support it. On the flip side, would you be okay with dating a man that is pimping other women? He's bringing in money. He could take care of you. He's making big money too. And obviously, it's not pimping in Las Vegas, but I think we all know what it is. It's legal prostitution, but it's happening. You got the bunny ranches, this and that. things of that nature. But point being is that ethically speaking, where are we? Where do we stand as a society? Because it seems like more and more this is an acceptable trait, and this is coming from women of all backgrounds, multiple degrees, masters, bachelors. So where we at?
That's an interesting question, and one that's great to pose out there. You know, all jokes aside, when you think about it, when you think about the human body and sexuality and everything else, how Americans are so pent up and really against all that when other nationalities aren't so. You know, we're talking about European nations. What is the downfall from sexuality? Is it worse than the downfall of mainstream, you know, murder and killing that you play in games and on video in movies and whatnot? At what point does it become the facet of that's worse than, you know, OnlyFans? To me, you know, it's just a human body. It's a reproductive organ. You know, some get sexual, you know, attention out of it and height requirements out of it. Others, it's just, you know, it is what it is. But I think, you know, with everything else that's going on in this world, that, you know, everything that you have in games and movies is far more worse because parents don't teach children, you know, either or, whether it be sexuality or, you know, the game, the, you know, high murder rate on games and whatnot.
Yeah, man.
I think it's all about perception, right? Because if it's perceived to be not cool, then everybody's gonna stay on that bandwagon. And it seems like maybe the U.S. is a little slower in jumping on the I don't give a fuck and just let it go, let everybody fucking do them bandwagon, and they're behind other countries. Is like, you know, you've traveled out of country too, and you know, like I went to Australia, fucking. There was people like bathing there butt naked, not giving a fuck, and nobody else gave a fuck either. And it was just like, whatever, like fucking using the word cunt down there. Nobody gave a fuck. It was just like saying whatever, like nobody cared. But here, the perception is it's not cool to do that. So like people are like trying to like get away from that, steer people away from that. And it's like, is it whether it's okay or it's not, it's I think it's kind of besides the point. It's like what the majority is going to perceive to be okay. So if that, for that to change, it's got to be like, now we're locked into a mass change. Everybody has to change if it's going to change, because if not, then that's how fucking you get shit like cancel culture popping up. People trying so hard to fight to keep that perception intact the way it is, and so adverse to change that now they're willing to go and start this third thing that is trying to police everybody.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit it on the head with perception. I mean, obviously, culturally, it's more or less about, you know, what you've seen in every country is going to be obviously a little bit different in regards of, you know, sexuality. Like you said, people walking around nude, or even what in France, you got weather women with, you know, the tops off, and that's perfectly normal on regular TV. But again, now we're talking about what's acceptable for you to do, which is fine. But now you jump into relationships, or these are things that people are willing to accept. Now that comes back from societal, what is perception, what should be acceptable, so to speak. Well, you can go out and do that, but do I want to accept that individually as a partner or a friend or whomever? That's where you kind of get into the meat and potatoes, where it gets into, is it really acceptable? Do we really want to go down this road? Is this really the path that, you know, we want to go down? I remember once upon a time, regular TV, you never heard any profanity, so to speak. I mean, even words like damn or hell would be, you know, blocked out. You'd say heck or something like that. And, you know, I'm hearing bitch and everything else in between. So I think we're already kind of past that threshold. I mean, and you can hear it in most people's lingo, you know, the vulgarity and how in which they speak on a day-to-day basis. So again, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, I think we all know, but these things are starting to become more and more common.
Yeah, great point.
And fucking, I didn't think we'd get to the day where it'd be readily available. I'm happy we got here. The struggle was real, but we made it here, and now fucking tits for free. I mean, do I really want to go back to the way things were? I mean, a little bit, but I mean, again, tits for free.
Yeah, they're for free. I mean,
They are for free. From me to see.
On one hand, you got titties you have to pay for, like in Playboy and Penthouse. On the other hand, they're for free. Just go online and do a search. Free or pay. Free or pay.
True.
We know which one to go to. Let's not keep this out of the frame of scope of what we're going through. Pilgrims came over to America in the 1700s, 1600s, 1669, whatever the date was, and they were trying to escape the regime and have their own religion without having to worry about king and culture and everything else. So they segregated themselves, for lack of a better term, away from the European nation, and then they were cut off from everything and growing in the world by themselves. And so when you look at the growth rate of the religion in this country at that time starting to the growth rate of the European nations with society, intermingled more frequently, we could see how slow it was for us to grow. And then Christianity telling people to be proper Christians and then acting like evil Catholics, with all the, oppression from, Mexicans to blacks to Chinese, growing through the nation. And even, the Native Americans is what I was going to say. It's mind boggling that we're finally at this point where other nations had reached that point far beyond. Because when you look at 1800s, they had Snapchat back then. They didn't have application online, but they had a picture where they bent over and snapped their chatters, and then they sent the images to everyone. I mean, nudity in photography and art has been around since, the 1500s, even further back to Greece times. It's just we couldn't collaborate with that information and make it work with our Christianity and our religion, and that's been pigeon-toed for the society that we can't break away from it.
Yeah, ain't lying. Because we're definitely a nation that wants to portray to be, so holy. But on the flip side, our actions and what we do and what we really value, so to speak, what we give attention to, so to speak, says something completely different. And again, like Jester said, like it's taken us a long time to even get to this point. But again, perception is everything. Where do we want to be as a nation? What direction do we want to go into? That's where you get into all these different intangibles as to what we should be doing or what should be acceptable, so to speak.
And for something that started out as meant to be a free for all and like built on fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, like it to come to this point where it's like, okay, it's not a free for all, and it's like we have to follow the rules. Like, wait, what the fuck? That's not how this shit started. It's the exact opposite of why we fucking started this shit to begin with. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things on my mind, all these people doing these OnlyFans, they really value themselves pretty highly. They're not stupid people. I mean, it takes a lot of power, internal power, to show your naked body, or even, do funny dances or be in sync and, film yourself and have people pay for it. Because, well, my fat ass wouldn't look good on there, number one. But if someone wanted to see it, I still feel objectified and weird about it because it's in my head and I can't get over that hump. Yet other people will do it just like that, right?
Yeah, I see some of it and I'm like, why are they paying for it? Well, I guess if it wasn't for the people that pay for it, then it wouldn't be on Google for free.
That's true.
Oh yeah, well, there's always the market of people that want to pay, and that's where you get into the extras and the weird stuff. And I don't know, man. Again, money seems to be the objective that will get you to do things that you might not have never thought to do. It's not necessarily who you are as a person, right?
Correct.
Logically speaking. But again, survival instinct in people to do certain things and put themselves out a certain way. It can be portrayed as bravery. Yeah. But for the majority, there's a higher level of desperation in which you are trying so desperately to hit a peak, a plateau, in which I keep saying It's like that silver bullet, right? You need that one shot. How many times do you think you're gonna hit $1 million that one time?
Well, if you put it right on the clit, you get that vibration with that silver bullet. Sorry.
I mean,
go ahead.
That's the word. But you know, this instant gratification and, you know, notoriety, it's one of those things where you ask people what they want to do. I mean, shit, we're all over the place. And again, you can do it. I know people that are making fucking money as gamers, and that's all they do all day. But you know, once again, it goes from gaming to, I don't know if you guys seen it on Twitch, where you got chicks fucking playing video games in baby swimming pools in their living room. Is it really about the game at this point, or is it about me seeing your tits wet and you playing Mario Kart? I don't know. I just don't know.
Do you really got a vibe for Mario Karts that bad? Hey, no judgment here.
No judgment.
What it comes down to is nobody wants to pay dues anymore. I remember, okay, so as a musician, right? You used to have to play the shitty clubs. You used to have to play fucking Wednesday night at 11 o'clock, and fucking 3 people were there. Like, you had to go through that shit to get your name out, to get your music out. Now, fucking YouTube, throw it on Spotify, throw it on any, and fucking instantly, without paying any dues. If your shit's that good, now it's just fucking all there without putting in any of that work. And it's like, it doesn't just apply to music. That's like everything except probably, well, I would say with like maybe not professional sports, right? 'Cause there's no way you're gonna fake that. Aside from that, you know, obvious things like that. Think about it. Like, people are doing all this shit for money. Is it fucking complicated and hard to do and a lot of work? Like, if you don't mind being on your phone 24/7, not really. It's not as hard as getting up and fucking going to a construction job and making the same amount of money. It's way less effort. You don't have to pay any dues and you still get that money right away. So I don't know. I think that it's just like, at some point, people just got fucking lazy and was like, yeah, I don't know, fuck that. Like, stoner mode on, like, and that's it. Like, no productivity anymore. Like, just the easiest shit to get whatever I want.
Yeah, and you kind of glazed over a new subject right there. You know, what's it do to your psyche? You know, a lot of kids growing up, they don't have that father figure. They don't have the teachers telling them, how their persona, grows from a teenager to an adult. They don't know how to deal with, the structure and the rigors of, adulthood. I went from, and not breaking my arm, patting myself on the back, I went from a standard English class to AP Calculus English class in mid semester, when the teacher wouldn't take any other students. It was either you worked your way to that level and got in, or you didn't get in. And because of the structure of what I was learning, as fast as I was learning from my own teachings, from being in class and reading and then writing my own thoughts into these basically 20-page excerpts, making a whole novel out of myself, they decided to put me in class. And from there, I'm reading Dante's Inferno. I'm reading all these other books that make you go to your psyche and understand. And I'm like, yeah, I understand all this stuff. What are you talking about? I mean, why does it take, all these years to get to this level? I've been dealing with this harsh shit in my life all this time as a kid. Most kids don't go through that. They don't know any of that. And as you said, they don't pay their dues, and they don't know what it takes if they were to put into a venue, how to, structure that and continue on and be successful. Now they fail, and once they fail, then they quit because they didn't get their participation trophy. Then they're nothing at that point. And I think that's a big crux of a lot of people going nowadays, and that goes into OnlyFans as well. They don't understand what they're doing, and I think, Retro, you were saying this to a point, what they're doing to themselves. If they can't understand what they're doing to themselves, they can't cope with any negative feelings or anything else that, come from that. And if they can't do that, then it's really detrimental to them as well as anybody else that are watching it. But, of course, you're going to have someone in the crowd yelling, "Show me your butthole," in any case.
Yeah. And again, like you said, the psyche of the individual, is being glazed over. But I said initially when we were talking privately, we're coming up with the next generation that's a little bit smarter than the last generation. And when you're talking about searching and pulling up information and data like that, And you're talking about kids that are acting irrationally for a lot of different reasons. Like you said, you touched on it. No father in the house, things of that nature. And again, we all know there's forms of bullying, and obviously with this generation, one of the bigger forms is cyberbullying, right? And again, the acceptability in which many women are taking the short road, whether it's the hustle, whether they need it, it's desperation, and taking the route, you're putting your kid into a particular situation that they're not even mentally prepared to even handle. Seeing the mother in that light, people pulling this up and putting this into a thread, things of that nature. It's detrimental to the next generation, but it's something that's not even being thought of right now in the current while you're doing it and making all this money. And, oh, we're living a good life. I take care of my kids. That's great. But taking care of them physically and the mental is not even being thought of when they're doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I see those posts on social media, like on Instagram in particular, right? It's the whoever either I've seen the ones that I fucking call parents of the year or mother of the year is like they have the first like 8 posts and then they're showing off like fucking everything with the bare minimum covered, and then the next 2 pictures is like fucking them with the kids. I'm like, really? Like you don't want to you don't want to have a separate fucking page for your like your kid stuff? Like at some point, like when the fucking camera lights are off, the fucking shit stops rolling, the money's no longer being made like that. That shit's on the internet. That's forever. That's not gonna come down. Like you can try to scrub it as much as you want. That's it. That's no matter. It's like they're only going to remember you for the last thing that you did, and the last thing that you did that everybody could see is that. And
remember back in the day when they said tattoos were forever, and now they're not so much forever? Well, that's forever ever now. And someone's going to copy it and post it again, right?
Copy it, download it. I mean, yeah, it's definitely forever. I mean, again, self-worth, value, all these different things. And I keep saying, there's a big difference between selfish people and selfless people. Mm-hmm. And I had this conversation, we talked about this, before my mother passed, but she had said funny stuff like, I thought about stripping, even though I know she never did because she's not that type of person. But it was more or less like, yeah, things were hard enough. I could have went that route, but I found something and we made it through. We made it through the storm. And ultimately, I've ran into the stripper that was stripping to get through law school and went through law school and graduated and got out of the strip club. I've ran into these people. Yeah, they absolutely exist. And I salute them. You came in with a plan and a goal, and you did what you had to do. I'm not knocking you at all, 0%. It's the ones that have jumped into this lifestyle that they feel that it's so acceptable. I can stay here forever, and this is what it's supposed to be. And again, how you make your money is based off of who? The people that support you. And I'm gonna pose this question. And again, it's nothing but men on this panel. Why do you think that we invest so much into women for the physical?
Yeah, it's not about the physical. It's about the mind. It's about the body. The body's just second nature. If you really love someone, it's internal, and that's what my parents always said. And as a kid, as a teenager, as a young man, you have hormones running through your body, and you don't make hormones all the time because you're a teenager. You don't get laid a lot, but you tend to look at the physical aspect of it, and some males never grow out of that. And as you grow and understand a person's nature, you tend to overlook the flaws in their body or something else that they might be doing just out of love. And that goes to another thing, people doing what they do for money, I never judge them. You know, I never look down on them. Those are the people that are strong character, the strong knowing why I'm doing this. Look at how many porn stars kill themselves because they're in doing what they're doing. They're just looking for love, and they never get it because now they've shown their body and exposed themselves to a certain level that nobody wants to open up to them. You know, so if they don't know how to deal with that, then they can't deal with life. And, you know, when on a smaller level, we go to OnlyFans and, you know, personal photography, you know, even if they're just showing a nipple or whatever else, you know, people don't know how to cope with that on any scale in most areas, and they just are not strong.
Like, to some degree, I can't really say that I could fully wrap my head around it. Like their thought process or like what that feels like, because my parents are like, yeah, sorry man, movie and TV probably not for you. You should probably try to either work on being real funny or get real good at a sport. Like yeah, like so the looks genes were never, the looks numbers or odds were never in your favor. Sorry about that, but maybe try another avenue for success. So I never really like put all that much stock in it, like just because I don't know, like there were always more appealing things to look for, to like, you know, besides that. I think like to your point, was like there was more, like there was like other shit that was just as interesting, if not more, than just that fucking looks department. So
dude, just come out and say it. You're sputtering around here. You like toes, okay? You put hot sauce on corns and you nibble them off. We know you do. It's okay. Just come out.
Put it on the table, man. It's all good. If you like to pay for the OnlyFans with the corn and the salsa and the chips, I'm not mad at you, bro. I'm just curious, as a patron that has never paid for any of these services, I'm curious on both ends why men will do it and why women will do it long term. Like, it's not, it becomes a thing of a second nature. It's not a job at this point. It's what I have to do. So it's like, okay, I want to understand on both sides, because we're really the investors. We invest in it cold-heartedly. Likes on Instagram, likes on TikTok, YouTube. We enjoy this type. We enjoy it. That's what it is. We are hypersexualized for sure.
That would be a good poll to put out on the social medias.
I'm curious.
I
am
ask the question
really
and see what
curious.
comes back.
Yes.
Oh, poll asking for questions. I thought you meant dancing poll.
No. There you go.
I was getting all excited here. We're like, spin it, they're spinning. You know, when you think about it, though, you look at what could be going through somebody's mind. I can't speak for anybody else, but back when I was, like I said, younger and leaner and actually looked really good, I actually had hair on my head. It's a weird concept, but you know, I was a handsome young Mexican with hair on my head, big bulgy shoulders, and I was muscular. And some dude come up to me and goes, "Hey, you're a bit stocky." I'm like, "Are you coming on to me?" Kind of like what you did, Jester, back in the day on Facebook. And he goes, "No, you know, some of the girls like a big meteor guy. I was just wondering, you want to go strip with me?" I almost did it. I really almost did it. And the forethought in my mind was money. It was a monetary value thing, that I could earn money, actually have a decent living, and get by. You know, going into my mindset on that was nowhere in my head saying that I could be traumatized or anything else like that. I was 18 years old, full of hormones, and boy, I could shoot down a terrorist from 15,000 miles away if someone got their hand on my junk. You know what I'm saying? But it's just one of those things. You go through different levels. People start with money, then they go to what they'll accept. It's a little bit portion of their soul, what they would give, nip off in order to continue on. And I don't want to make it sound less value by saying this, but it's similar to when you're, you know, imprisoned. If you've been captured by the enemy, you have to come to terms with what part of your soul you're able to give up in order to continue on, so you're sane.
I think for me it's a double-edged sword, right? Because I'm glad that it's that shit's not permanently out there for forever, but at the same time, like, I could have made money off of it, and I was already gonna do it anyways. Like, and it was a lot. Like, if it was a fucking Olympic sport, I would have like been like the fucking most noted gold medalist ever. But it's so, you know what I mean? Like, on the one hand, I could have been a fucking billionaire by now, but on the other hand, like, it would have been there for forever. So it's like, you know, which one's the lesser of the two evils?
You could have been a contender,
right?
I've been a contender, man.
You know, I look back and I think about those things. What kind of money would I take to do something unscrupulous, disgusting, and still have my sanity? Well, all cards on the table. If the money came in of, you know, anything above $10 million and I didn't have to pay taxes on it, it's my $10 million straight up. There's a lot I would do that I'm not going to tell you right now because you guys probably throw up right there on your table. But, you know, that's just me, because I could wake up the next day and after sleeping like a baby and have $10 million and go anywhere in the world I wanted to.
That's funny. You know what? And again, you kind of hit someone on the head, and hearing it from another man, I guess we've all been offered unsubstantial amounts of money to do unscrupulous things behind the scenes, right? The thing for me is always been the thought process, right? You know, I'm a firm believer in word of mouth, and you can't project yourself to be one way, and then it's always that one person that really knows you because you did some funny shit one time, and now they're looking at you like this is who you are. Again, that's one of those things that's been planted in my mind to begin with. But ultimately, I think you know, in life, when you have a sense of direction as to what you want to do, you know, it'll kind of stop you from doing certain things. I mean, who knows? You may have became a top agent for the CIA if you didn't get tattoos on your face. I mean, all these different things have chain reactions, and you know, fucking this person over, you didn't get this job, you come in and this is the hiring manager and they happen to be best friends and they had a conversation. I mean, it's so many different chains. And for me, you know, for monetary, you know, funds, I believe very, very, very firmly in, you know, how you make your money fucking matters. It does. You know, again, I'm not going to judge you per se, but I'd still have the option to choose if I want to deal with you on that level, so to speak, based on what you do and your actions. And I think a lot of people are getting out of that mindset of, well, it's me and you should just accept me, and that's cool. But I don't have to accept you in my circle if you're a drug lord. I don't have to accept you in my circle if you're a prostitute, and I don't like prostitutes, okay? So, you know, these different things, and I keep telling people it's not just about you, it's about everybody, it's community. And if you're a thief, you think people want you to be in that community? No. If you're making things look a certain way, people aren't going to want to accept you, whether, you know, the majority accepts you or not. So it goes back, I keep saying, you know, perception comes back down to the individual. And then, you know, obviously, socially speaking, you have the majority, you know, majority rule. But again, individual rules do apply because you are an individual when you're out and about. And these things absolutely matter for sure.
You know, I like that thought, and that's what I had about 15 years ago. Not to say that you're not, you know, privy to your information, and I would never denounce what's on your mind. But I've grown to think about things a little bit differently, you know, being in a, you know, my going on 49th year on this earth. Having done what I've done as a young man, having seen what I've seen as a child, having watched what I've watched on TV, having grown up in a society that, you know, really doesn't take care of its, you know, people, you know, and I mean of every ethnicity. You know, I've come more accustomed to giving people the first chance, maybe a second chance, and then cut them off if they so deserve it. But I'm more open to allow people that are a thief, that are a prostitute, that have done something that's been questionable in their past to, you know, show me that there's something different, that they're not doing what they used to do, that they've grown from it. And if they cheat me or do something towards, you know, my money marker, then I just cut away from them. But, you know, I'm just a little more open from that standpoint.
Oh, well, let me clear that up real quick. So it's not about me not accepting you initially.
Okay.
We're talking about the overall thought process, but exuberance of exhibiting certain behaviors. Again, you know, life is the father of learning. You learn certain things, and this is why they call it wising up. You see certain patterns, you know to stay away from it. It was a conversation I was having. It's funny as shit. I was just having this conversation. I go to the subway by the job every so often, and I talked to this cat, and he was telling me about his quote unquote girlfriend, and you know how things were this way, and he thought it was this and that, the third, and then he follows that up with, yeah, you know, she was OnlyFans girl, and I was like, see, there you go, there you go. And again, not to cast any judgment, but based on the chicks that I have been around, it's always been the same. I want to have fun, I want to have a vibe, and that's what it is. And if you're not wise enough to see that, all tops, it doesn't matter what you want to make of it. You want to make this chick your girlfriend, your wife, whatever the case may be. Understand that you are fighting an uphill battle. She wants to make money, and if you want her to do things a certain type of way, her mind is already set. She's already doing it to begin with.
Fair point.
So that's kind of where I'm going with it. Like, again, we are all wise men. You learn how you learn, so to speak. But, you know, everything is situational. Everybody's not the same, of course. But we got eyes, we got ears, and you can pay attention as an individual. So, you know, again, there's certain people that I'm willing to accept. Have I had female friends that were absolute thoughts pouring out here in the streets? Yes. Yes. We had these conversations. Do I have homegirls that are strippers? Yes. Do I have friends that have OnlyFans? Yes. How I feel how I feel. But do I treat them any different? No. They're still my friends. Again. Would I date them though? Is the question. No. Right. But that's on the individual standpoint. There's something I'm not willing to accept. I'll accept your friendship all day, every day, based on who you are as a person, how you act. You know, your job isn't going to dictate that. And again, unless you're a thief, you know, a murderer, you know, rapist, things of that nature. But outside of that, yeah, there's no judgment as far as, you know, that friend zone. But on a personal level, I couldn't get past that.
You know, I like what you said about the strippers. No, I'm kidding. About the choice and the dating portion of it, right? Is because like there are people that want to make wives or husbands, whatever's out of the people that are doing that right now, making the money like that way and wanting to like be free and like do whatever the fuck they want. Basically, it's just like, if you really feel like that, then why not fucking just wait till they get all that shit out of their system and then fucking hit them up then. See if they're more open to suggestion when the fucking cameras stop rolling and the lights turn off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now that they're out of the spotlight, looking for something to do, maybe you come along, make a suggestion. Hey, why don't you try this?
Right.
Well, I can answer that question straight up because, you know, Retro and I were talking about this earlier. You know, sometimes you like a nice tucked in fold hand sandwich. Other times you go to Arby and get that roast beef hanging outside of the bun.
And that's what you see on some of these fucking, like some of the ones that are doing it. It's like, yo, why? That's not cool, dude. I didn't pay. Like, who would pay $5 for that shit? It's
somebody that has hopes and dreams and wishes and shit. I don't get it.
I would pay $5 so she could buy some ShamWow and clean up that mess off the floor.
Jeez. And it's like, I just really want to know. I've never even been on OnlyFans before. I couldn't tell you what the website looks like. I don't know. Do they have an application? I don't know.
Yeah, there's they have a link that you go to. It's basically like a platform like YouTube, from what I understand. I would know nothing about that. 72 applications. Anyway,
right.
So
from what I understand,
I got links I'll share with you afterward. No, seriously, I've never gone on one. I've only seen them for free. Anyway, So when you go on those, you basically, you know, have a link like a Zoom or Discord or anything else, and then, you know, you have a credit card link or whatever that you put into there. Not that I know this, obviously. And then you pay for said services to watch video, and then you scream at them with caps on your keyboard, "Show me your butthole." Not that I've ever done that, but, you know, things happen, and, you know, sometimes you're proud of it, sometimes you're not. But what people will do for that kind of money is just awkward, you know. But when you think about it, $1 times 100,000 people is $100,000.
So asking for a friend here, is there like a setup fee or anything like that to start one of these?
I really don't think there's a setup fee. There's probably a monthly fee for being on their service, but that's about it.
Huh. All right, well, I have to let my friend know.
I think it's a monthly surcharge of showing your butthole, but you have to shave it.
Not the shaving butthole. Jeez. Not even wax. Go ahead and shave that thing. Trim it down, manscape it, huh?
Hey,
my friend's not gonna like that. She's more the all natural kind of armpit hair and everything.
That goes back to the 1800s OnlyFans.
Fucking dirty hippie.
Yeah. You're out there with the willow bush, man. I don't know, Coach.
Willow
ain't going for it.
Willow on the Oregon Trail going, I don't know, feeling kind of spicy tonight. Might show you my butthole while we're being pulled through the, you know, Native American country around here. And, you know, OnlyFans, you know, on Donner's Pass. I'm macking out on this dude's leg. I'm going to show you my titties later. I'll get back to you if somebody else dies. Could you imagine that? I mean, OnlyFans in Hiroshima during that escapade.
And I can't imagine it now. You know, they one of the sanctions when they were just shutting shit down in Russia, right? They shut down the fucking OnlyFans, right?
Yeah.
And they froze all that money.
Yep, they prevented people from, you know, steadily getting out of the country and all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
People breaking their arms and breaking their legs so they don't get recruited into the services. That's nuts, man.
Yeah, shit's getting bad right now, man. I see the levels of desperation, man. I'm seeing it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've driven down 27th Avenue as of late, but yeah, there's a level of prostitution unbeknownst to me. I pulled over to the gas station at like 1 in the morning. I'm just thinking, like, are you okay? You're in your bra and your panties with heels on. Like, what the fuck happened? You know, but then I see another one, then another one, and then another one. And I'm like, oh, these are fucking hoes. These bitches are looking to make, you know, some bread tonight. Like, what the fuck is going on? And the coldest part is it's right over there by GTU, which is a Christian university. So it's amazing to me that they have all these hoes fucking these virgins on campus right about now.
No, it's not. Okay, so people don't know Arizona too well. Over Grand Canyon University, that used to be all old track homes from the 50s and 60s, and it wasn't really a nice neighborhood until they built that college there. It's gotten upgrades here and there, but it's mostly residential around that area, except on the campus. Back when I was here in '91, that was Van Buren, down on the south side of Phoenix, where all the prostitution was. So it kind of makes sense, you know, the college students around there, and you're starting to see more prostitution out there, whether it be kids trying to go to school to pay for the tuition, or whether it be, you know, women trying to get some of them, those college guys, you know, to give them some of their tuition money.
They're getting that. They done scooped up PPP loans and some more shit on the block.
Damn straight.
I don't know what's going on, man. I just, again, when I moved out here, and correction, Van Buren is Central Phoenix. I went to South Mountain, but I did when I moved out here. I was a sophomore, and I noticed that taking trips or whatever the case may be, like the amount of prostitutes that would be on Van Buren, and then that transferred to 19th Avenue, and now it's on 27th Avenue, right along the freeway. And again, I've seen police cars and cruisers, you know, driving up and down there. I've said it and I said it again. You know, society, what's acceptable? You're watching this, you're seeing this, and we're accepting it, so to speak. I don't know what the people in the community are saying, but again, it's heavy. It is heavy. I mean, we're talking about at least 3 miles worth, easy.
That's about $20 heavy petting. Not that I know. Anyway,
I hope it's not 20. Jesus.
but the thing is, you know, with everything that's gone on, with gas prices going back up again, with the cost of living going down, with the cost of rent and everything else going back up, you know, this government's really screwing everybody up, and everybody is out to make their own dime. People are buying 2-3 homes, and then they're renting their places that they purchased for, you know, exorbitant amounts of money in rent, expecting people to pay, and nobody could pay without grouping together. So now you got families living together with 4 or 5 incomes just to pay rent, and it's getting more and more hard. You know, we're eventually going to hit a bubble where everything bursts, and we're going to have a society where everybody lives, and you know, there's no value in money. There, you know, value is going to be in what you can give to society, so that way you get food, a place to stay, and you know, everything else that you need.
This juncture, I'm starting to think that's what a lot of people need. Shit, a lot of people don't understand the amounts of work that goes into actually working, getting up, going to a job, using your hands, using your brain, and you know, making things happen. Now we have too many people that want money for nothing. And as a business owner, just dealing with some of my employees, everybody wants to fucking show up to work and do the bare minimum, and you want to get your check day of. You want to cash under the table. You want all these fucking things, but you're not willing to go above and beyond. And again, with some people consider some of these things, yeah, absolutely. But when you're watching somebody that's half-assed, do you want to go above and beyond for that person? No. Why should you? And this is where society is at right now. I'm going to say 70% of people are just fucking half-assing every day, content with where they are, don't have any real goals, don't really know which direction they're going in, don't know why they want to go in the direction that they do want to go in. It's just the unknowns. We're all over the fucking place, just scatterbrain, as I call it.
And that's why I love Jester's t-shirt.
Adulting. 1 star. Exactly. Your performance, 1 star.
You know, and on the converse side of that discussion, and I love talking about this with you. This is great. When you're talking about, you know, people not wanting to put in the effort to make the money, you got people that are putting in the effort and then going well above and beyond, and they're not getting the compensation for it. So, you know, you got consequences on both ends, essentially. You know, you got people who are overproducing and coming up with stuff that needs to be paid for that don't get paid for. Adulting 1 star. And also you got the people that, you know, really don't put in the effort, that are getting, you know, the pay that they shouldn't be getting in the first place. You know, it's just catch-22 either end. It's just round robin. You can't get any better. You just have to have better corporations, better companies, better managers, and people that keep an eye on everything. And, you know, that's not necessarily a society thing, but it's just a manner of how people are growing in society and then go into these positions, and how what they've learned going into these positions really don't know how to run these businesses and care for the people that are under them and make sure that they're successful. And, you know, just one of those things that we have to live with, right?
Yeah, and I hate when people fucking make that the sports reference, right? Like the professional athlete reference. Oh, they're doing the easy thing to make money too. How come nobody says that about them? Because, like, think about it. Okay, good example. The Miami Dolphins quarterback right now is in a hospital bed. Life in fucking was in serious danger for the quote easy fucking money. That doesn't sound like easy money to me. That sounds like he's out there fucking risking his body and long-term injury for a serious amount of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but he's got one fucking body that he's got for the rest of his fucking life. That guy's 24, 25. Like, serious fucking brain trauma, and that shit's gonna have long-term effects. Yeah, that's worth the fucking $25 million that he made, because that's got to carry him for the rest of his fucking life, because he's not going to be able to do shit else.
Exactly.
He's going to be all fucked up, and he's going to have all these medical bills. So, yeah, like, it balanced out. So, like, I'll hear arguments to defend the point of, like, well, it's their choice to make money. Yeah, and it is, and that's not the point. The point is it easy and a lack of paying dues, whereas the thing that you're trying to, like, make equal to that is nowhere near that. Like, somebody's literally putting their body and life on the line every time they step on the field, because anything could fucking happen. Basketball court, hockey, the hockey ring, the fucking hockey is worse. The fucking tape it up, get back in there. Like fucking that fucking puck could kill somebody easily. So you know what I mean? Like is it the same? Fuck no. There's paying dues. There's like, and then the amount of work that you have to do to get to that level where you're making millions of dollars as a professional athlete. Like you were eating, sleeping, shitting, and whatever it is that you're good at 24/7 for almost your entire life to get to that point. That's fucking the epitome of fucking paying dues. Like, so it's just like people make arguments for like, oh, what it's fucking making money. I'm like, yeah, for right now, but then that shit's gonna go away, and then what? Then where are you?
Exactly.
Fuck. You got to do the work. You got to go do some agricultural work and farm some land. Oh man, good luck. You got to toss some hay. Good luck. You got to milk some cows. Good luck. You got to go out and get a kill. Good fucking luck. I mean,
try growing your own weed, motherfucker.
You love to smoke, but you don't know how to fucking grow it and all the work that goes into growing what you enjoy on the day-to-day fucking basis. Good luck.
Yep.
Good luck. Yeah.
I was just thinking of porn references when you're talking about milking the cows and tossing the hay and everything else. Is there something wrong with me? I don't know. I think I'm okay. You know, growing up in this weird scope and seeing, you know, politicians and people that run the government, so-called government, and everything else goes on behind our backs. It's just we're everybody's out to make a buck for the higher level, and the higher levels dictating how to make a buck for the lower level. And people that are just barely getting by are trying to work those same antics into their level. And everybody's stealing from everybody. That's what it comes down to, instead of just helping somebody. I mean, I know if I had $25 million right now, I'd take care of myself, take care of my family second, and, you know, make sure that that money is still there. And then I would take care of people. I would buy homes. I would buy small tracts. I would have people in at nominal rent so that they can actually live a comfortable life, that they don't have to worry about where the money's going and how they're going to feed their kids and how they're going to get to and from work. If we had more people like that in the society, we wouldn't have the problems that we have nowadays. And, you know, we would actually be one of the, you know, countries that would be on the higher echelon of people that would actually, you know, if there was a war, or if there was something to guard their family and their life, would actually put their lives on the line without protesting or worrying about the things, because, you know, they're doing something. They would have value out of it. Nowadays there's no value in nothing. The money, the dollars don't have any value because of what you're spending it on. Your life has no value because you're so hyper focused in on making that money that life passes you by, and that you don't see the fruits of what you put into it. You know, it's just a weird concept, a weird construct of, you know, how it's been built to this point and how we're dealing with it this day. And it'd be interesting to see it another 100, 200 years from now, where actually we would be at.
If the 2020s had a theme song, it would be that Dire Straits song, Money for Nothing.
Chicks for free.
Yeah.
Or it'd be that one song by that little known artist who sings Show Me Your Butthole.
Show me your butthole.
Was that Sir Mix-a-Lot? Oh no, but that was Baby Got Back. Sorry. You know,
Baby's got butthole. I got you.
No, Baby Shave Butthole. You know, going back to OnlyFans, our discussion and everything. You know, imagine nowadays society, and you put it back to the, you know, you go 100 years and another 100 years, another 100 years, and you keep going back. It's never left. It's just been on a different level. Right now, if you have a mindset of making money, right now, if you have a conscience that you could sleep like a baby and not worry about the things that you do, more power to you. Make the money, you know. But understand this, you know, when you make that money, with great money, there's great responsibility. We'll just leave it at that on my end.
Yeah, well, you know, again, one thing that how I lead and live my life, and I'm gonna stand on it until I'm old and gray, is legacy. What the fuck did you do while you were here, and what did you leave for other people to fucking marvel at? And if all you have is showing your shaved butthole, that's it. That's what we're celebrating. More power to you, but as an individual, I'm only speaking as an individual now. I want to leave something that's long standing, that fucking means something, that fucking helps somebody out, not help somebody get off. Okay, that's where I'm at with it.
Hallelujah.
You know what would change things? You know what might help change things is if when you die, they fucking added up all your pictures, and the picture, the kind of picture that you had the most of, that's the one they put big next to your casket. So if you were showing off your butthole for half your life, bam, next to the casket, that's the last thing they see before.
In peace, Reggie.
Who stole Grandma's pole dancing thing? Get that back over here.
Look at people twerking as they're fucking going out photo.
Right. All your videos are twerk videos.
Damn straight.
Those are the ones that they can't hand you the phone and let you see the picture, because if you swipe over right or swipe over left, you're gonna see some shit.
So how did the funeral service go? Well, I saw Grandpa shave his butt naked, squirrel into a bunch of KY jelly, put on some rubbers, and then slip and slide all over the room with some bear. Oh.
Grandpa?
Grandpa Putin. Oh, man.
All right. Well, we are coming up on our time, guys, and it's been a good one. Retro, thank you for sitting down with us. We're gonna have more of you on the show. This is fucking great, man. Big O, fucking always good to talk to you.
Yeah.
We are working on season 7. Fuck, if you can believe that. 7 seasons of this bullshit.
And you were gonna quit after 3.
Right. So I'm glad I stuck it out, because it's got a lot more fun, and there's a lot more good shit coming your way. We actually got season 7 mostly planned out, so we're getting on season 8 and see if maybe we can crank out some more work in this off season, and we're gonna have a lot more bonus content coming out for you. The links for retro stuff will be in the description. This will be on the YouTube channel, and I'll go ahead and get this the audio from the show on the website, so that all the listening audience on like Spotify, Amazon, all that other good shit can hear this too. So all right, guys, it's been fun, and until next time, peace.
Peace.
Yes, sir.